But let's start with the most important game on the card today: the Rangers and the Astros tonight at 5:15 Pacific, 8:15 Eastern. As we get ready to roll in the American League with a great uh, series with the two Texas teams. Kind of crazy if you think about it. When I was young, the Astros were in the National League. Well, it hasn't been that long since they moved to the American League, but you have Jordan Montgomery. Um, I don't know who saw this coming other than maybe Jordan Montgomery. He's a confident man, and I'm not just making conversation. If you've heard his interviews, and he deserves this success. He's 3-0 with a 1.66 ERA in his last six starts now, just when the Rangers needed him. They acquired him. Uh, you know, could have just when you look at a guy like Jordan Montgomery when he came over, right? You say, well, just like anything with him, if he ever pitched to his potential, he would, look. I mean, look at his, uh, when he came, when he entered the major leagues and had some success, and the talk about, what he could become. Well, I think this is what we're getting right now. I mean, all you can do is, be at your maybe career peak in the postseason. So hats off to Jordan Montgomery here for being in this position that he's in. Sure, he's had some modest major league success. I mean, anytime you can pitch well enough and end up going from a team like the Cardinals to the Yankee. I mean, you're doing something right, right? You're a, you know upper echelon major league pitcher, not an elite, but I mean a top uh, you know pitcher, a rotation pitcher in the major leagues, making a lot of starts. So we know Justin Verlander's a Hall of Famer, and he's pitching like it right now, a 0.47 ERA in his last three starts. But I've got runs in this one. I'm just maybe, I don't even know if it's necessarily contrarian, is it? The total is 8.5, you guys. I mean, how disrespectful of me to not even have the line. Did you guys even say anything up here? First time to the show, guys. The Astros here are favorite, $1.40 or so. Let me make sure and pop the line in on the screen. Getting ready for the national anthems over there. Uh, Anthems. Uh, got to have "God Save the King." Don't forget. Got to change. Had to change the words since Elizabeth passed away. Okay, so 135 ish. I'm showing it actually. The move appears to be on Texans. The total 8.5 over 15 here in this one with Montgomery and Verlander. So, uh, yeah. So for me, I know it's 8.5, and you think of it. I mean, if you just looked at the starters, right? There's no question you'd have to think under, wouldn't you? In this one, with these guys both in really elite numbers of late, but Verlander, for all his success, has gone over in 7 of his last 11 starts. Hey, a little steam coming in right now on a hockey game tonight. Want to just pass it along, even though we're talking baseball. Want to get these when they happen. We might keep this on and let that be part of the show. I mean, after all, this is the morning steam, isn't it? Uh, Carolina and Anaheim. This one is currently on the move over. We've already seen steam come in on Carolina today on that game. I know we're talking baseball here, but this is urgent news. This is we might need a breaking news steam, like breaking news. Anybody watch the guy here on YouTube who narrates the news off of Twitter? I mean, he's a serious guy, but he reads like it's not like he's reading tweets of, but like the conflict in Gaza, for example, and he'll be, this reporter says, but breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Carolina and Anaheim has just been hit on here on the over. It was already upwards of 6.5 under, I do believe, but now we're seeing it move higher here to, well, looks like 6 over 25 still for the most part. Carolina's already been hit in that game up to nearly $3 at some books, including DraftKings, showing 298 currently. Opened maybe uh, lower at some spots, maybe as low as 255. I show it Bet Online, but who really had a chance at any of those numbers? Carolina's a $3 favorite tonight at Anaheim. All right, let's continue on here with the Rangers and the Astros tonight. Texas has won 13 of 17 coming in. Astros have won 8 of 10. Of course, these teams are going to be a little bit hotter. Astros have tasted that success. They've tasted that champagne. Uh, Champs in 2019, champs in 2021. They have the home field advantage here. They're in the playoffs for the seventh time in a row. Verlander, a ton of playoff experience, but he's been fine. He's been good. He's been, you always know you're facing a strong lineup. I think that's one thing why Verlander, he's got a 3.54 ERA in his 35 career playoff starts, but he's dominated Texas in his career. 21-8 with a 2.60 ERA. Uh, for Montgomery now, just 3 playoff starts is basically just getting his playoff career going, and where is pretty much in the middle of his career. 2.55 ERA in 3 playoff starts, got 3.73 ERA in his career against Houston in 6 starts. And for Texas, of course, here, this is a great run, and they don't have a lot of postseason experience. Hello to Ray. Hello to Ferner. Hello to Kevin. He says Tony seems like a good guy. You know what? I've said this to his face. The guy you see on screen is exactly pretty much the guy you get, and that's a good thing. All right, I better make the call here in this one, and maybe I hinted at what I was doing there with uh, the game total being set currently at 8.5. There were some talk of some nines. I don't think I ever saw it necessarily as I kick the game off right now from London. And the Ravens will have the ball first. So, all right. For me, it's going to be in this one. I kind of wanted to go with the total here on the show, but I'm going to go with the Astros here, especially now. A little bit of a dip in price at $1.31 here offshore currently, but I'm going to take Verlander in this one and the big bats of the Astros right now. They really seem to be mashing pretty well here at this point. Guys you almost don't want to pitch to. Look, the Rangers got great bats too. Everything. This is going to be a strong series, and we'll see what happens in the National League with the Phillies and the Diamondbacks. And Blake says, "Is it East Coast teams that mostly play in London?" Yes, and although the NFL has never, um, I don't think they've ever publicly. It does look to me like they do take more teams. I don't think they've ever said that that is the case. And well, what can you say? That most teams are actually, east of the Miss. So it could be a coincidence. We've certainly seen, you know, some of the West teams there, but great point by Blake. Okay, Ray says he'll go over, right? And that's just it, Ray. It just feels like, yeah, these pitchers are great. Hey, Sincere Gifted. Hi, nice to see you. Where you been? And Sincere Gifted says the weather conditions could be playing a part here in this one. Um, I uh, I don't know. In Minute Maid is they're indoors, right? Or it's a retractable anyway. So, anyways, but when I look at the lineup here, though, against Montgomery, the Astros, they're my number 3 lineup currently coming in. And I certainly think that they have some strong advantages here against him. However, with some of the bats, especially Altuve, Bregman, and Abreu, it's not actually a great matchup for Alvarez and Tucker, but doesn't really matter with those guys, I would think. Meanwhile, against Verlander, he has some interesting splits, and I do think the issue here probably could be um, several of the bats in the middle of the lineup that I don't like tonight here against Verlander. I'm talking about Seager. I'm talking about maybe Grossman, maybe Carter, maybe Jonah Hine. And so that's why I'll just be on the Astros here in this one in Game One. Doesn't I think taking the Astros in Game One puts me on the Astros in the series. I don't think there's anything for me to be had uh, in the series, and uh, I think I'm being on the show here. I feel like I want to make a pick, and I think I'm going to take the Astros to win the series. But I'd be on here saying, "Hey, I like this team" or whatever. Hopefully, it's a 7 gamer. Little more steam just came in, you guys. It's in the NBA. If you want another play that maybe could be going down here, Chicago and Denver under. Like I said, these aren't plays. I'm just giving you this information. But with these type of moves, um, what you're going to get are immediate movers, and you could get on these and maybe get some value. Chicago Bulls, Denver Nuggets under 222. It's already 220 and a half, 220 and 220 at some spots. So if you can get that 222 still, you're going to get some CLV. All right, Darren, ready to go over. He likes points to be scored today.